And towering above you is the creature in its containment. Its hand rests upon the glass, tail almost wagging when it sees you. Oh my god, that's so cute! Hey all you cool creatures. Today we are going to be playing SYN by Catskit. SYN is spelled with a Y, so SYN, but you will find out what this game is about as it goes on. It explains it pretty early on. So this game was made for the Single Choice Jam and the 72-hour Murder Boy Mayhem Jam in a little less than 3 days. The character SYN is a distant cousin of another character from one of Catskit's visual novels, which I will have to play at some point. But for now, we are going to enjoy this. I think the content warnings include thalassophobia, claustrophobia, vague descriptions of blood, vague descriptions of vomit, vague descriptions of death by crushing, and implied gore. So it's mild, but viewer discretion is advised. "7 days ago, the Silver Treader rose from a classified hadopelagic trench in the Pacific Ocean. Painted on it was the blood of the 3 scientists that were cradled in the submarine. Their bodies were nowhere to be found. 6 days ago, the Caspian Cell, armed with the blessing of science, disembarked into the trench. 5 days ago, it emerged with a catch. 4 hours ago, everyone in the facility was claimed by the sea. The hadopelagic zone is the deepest region of the ocean, tucked sweetly in deep trenches, deeper than the darkness of the abyssal zone. Rapid scientific developments have allowed marine biologists to access the most mysterious parts of the sea floor. Underwater facilities were quickly built in the mesopelagic zones, around 200 to 1,000 meters into the depths. You are a marine biologist of the Emboro Deep facility, conducting research on deep sea crustaceans. Your work has always been mundane. You collect samples and study them. You are nothing like the biologists with a death wish who plunge into deeper waters. The ones who bring a gun, not for krakens, but for themselves. Each sample you receive is larger than the last. It makes sense. Deep sea giganticism makes an organism more efficient. Better metabolism, better gathering of food, greater nutrients once it falls to the sea floor. Large isopods are burned into the back of your skull already. The Silver Treader was going back into the fray to capture footage of large eels. Rumors circulated that they were eating the waste propelled by Emboro Deep. You remember seeing Maikawa, Barrow, and Lewis before their descent, and you cannot get the visions of their remains painted on the front of that submarine out of your head. God, that's actually really sad. Although I have to wonder, how is the blood painted on the front of the submarine? Wouldn't it get washed off by the ocean, or did it happen like in the submarine? It was like the smears of a wild animal, but you know it was done with intention. 3 ventured back in to find evidence of the dead and to capture what had brought them to their demise. It was difficult to describe this creature at first. Humanoid in some aspects, but nonetheless alien. The higher-ups were unsure what to name it. The process usually takes long and is bureaucratic. It was relatively docile, but would become aggressive when any tests that were not purely observational were attempted. Multiple faculty were injured in attempts to take its blood. What conclusions were made were slim. It is a male of its species and shares characteristics with cutthroat eels. Something under its skin makes it bioluminescent. Those who captured it reported that it only began to glow when arriving at the facility. Some kind of defense mechanism? Or intimidation mechanism, maybe. It does not communicate, but it seems to understand human language and the meaning behind words. Any attempts to make it communicate have been futile. It is ignoring the scientists. Its primary role is a scavenger. Considering the death of 3 scientists of the Silver Treader, it may also be a predator. And it has not eaten since arrival. Ooh, that's not good. It had to be contained to a tank meant for dozens of animals. Multiple numbers for its full length have been thrown around. 50 feet in length, 75 feet. It is large. That is all that matters. Most formal business surrounding the creature had to wait. Word gets to the outside world only through monthly supply runs. Everyone reveled in the discovery of a new species, that they were the only ones to know about it. The facility collectively named the creature SYN after the scientific classification Synaphobranchidae. I hope I pronounced that right. Scientific names can be a little weird to pronounce. And perhaps it was a sin to bring it into Emboro Deep. You aren't quite sure what happened or how fast it did, A few hours ago, you had been given a half-dead octopus that was the size of a preteen girl. Oh, that's a big octopus. These things shouldn't be down here. Man, I am loving the atmosphere of this game. It is creepy. There were a few abnormalities, 4 too many tentacles, an extra set of eyes, mutations that were otherwise unnecessary. You heard a few rumbles far away. That was only natural in the Emboro Deep. Underwater earthquakes and large supply hauls can often cause rumbles. It was not until someone burst into your room with blood rushing down their arms that you were alarmed. You didn't know who it was before they were dragged back into the darkness. You closed and barred the door, sitting in the confines of your workroom. Against the door, you heard the alarm bells and the screams. Wet, putrid sounds of sea creature flesh and the tearing apart of human tendons. There were a few small implements used to vivisect new specimen that you grabbed to fend for yourself. You knew in a real fight that they would do nothing. Having them, nonetheless, brought you peace. You waited until it was quiet outside, save for the sounds of live wires. You opened the door. For now, you could only walk through the carnage. It was hard to see through the flashing of red emergency lights and puffs of steam from broken pipes. Parts of the ceiling have fallen, making the once familiar hallways difficult to navigate. I feel like we're lucky that it hasn't started to collapse on us yet. Attention! All personnel must evacuate Emboro Deep facility as quickly and safely as possible. Proceed to an escape pod or submarine located in. The emergency broadcast experiences static and ceases operation. Truth be told, you don't remember the safety procedures. You went over them once when you arrived, and never again since. That's not good. You'll make your way the way you can. Under rubble, you always found bodies. So many of them. You don't know how you got here, but you feel it does not matter. But when you reach a door left in pristine condition compared to the other wrecked ones, you can feel it. This room is blanketed with the dust of rubble from the shaking of the facility. Otherwise, it is left clean. Papers are still stacked nicely on their desks. The pipes rumble, but they do not burst. He is so cute! And towering above you is the creature in its containment. Its hand rests upon the glass, tail almost wagging when it sees you. Oh my god, that's so cute! This is the first time you've seen it in person. You've seen sketches that look like they were drawn by children as supplemental material. Its eyes follow you as you move across the room and in front of its tank, but its head does not. You stand in front of SYN, who looks down at you with what humans would read as glee on its face. Oh dear. Oh dear. You're the cause of this, aren't you? It moves closer to you to meet your eyes. Perhaps I did. Its voice rings in your ears, but it does not open its mouth. Oh, I love Cat's art so much. What a pretty creature. I do not know your language, but I know your thoughts. You're scared, and I'm sure me communicating through your mind does not help. I'll have to apologize, but I know you will not forgive me. It is in your complicated nature. You swallow and hold your head in your hands. I wish I could move my hands. Oh well. Blood pulses through your eardrums and you feel dizzy. You don't have a lot of time to leave this place, human. Everyone else is dead. All that scampers through the corners of your facility are the very beings you captured. Consider it their version of what is it? Revenge. You swear you see a glisten in its deep eyes. I do not feel a single other soul of your kind with blood that still sings so sweetly. Unfortunately, as much as I was able to rouse the desires of the other creatures of this vessel to turn them against the evildoers who forced them from their homes, they are all too blinded in their rage to release me. They are animals, after all. They cannot operate the mechanisms. However, you can. I am willing to enter a contract with you, similar to the one you signed when arriving here. Confidential, binding, eternal. There are a set of buttons over by the pipes to my right, your left. Press the red and blue one at the same time, and you will override the system. The pressure will become too much, and the glass will break. Should you do this for me, I will make sure you make it to land unscathed. You will not tell a soul what happened here. Should you let even an ounce of it leave your body, the weight of the sea will fall once again on your body. Ooh, that's a horrible death. And you will be returned to me. You look at the buttons, and your gaze returns to SYN. Why did you kill them? Are you referring to the 3 who ventured into my territory in hopes of stealing those in my community for your study, your experiments? It was a warning to abandon your sight and return from whence you came. How is what we did any different from what you have done here? I am defending my home, just as you all have done before. You are stealing my children from me. If you release them back to us, they return with permanent wounds, disfigured beyond recognition. How repulsive. You feel vomit building up in the back of your throat. I did what any other creature in my position and power would do. I brought, what is it called? Hell upon your species. Just in this instance, I could call upon my distant brothers and sisters to overtake everything you have ever built. We could make it happen, and we could make it swift. To feel the rush that comes from the taste of sweet blood. SYN's voice without an opening mouth is making you uncomfortable. You are not meant to be this far down. When this vessel collapses, you and everybody will collapse alongside it. You will not even last a fraction of a second under the pressure of the water. If you manage to survive for longer than that, then the fear of the darkness will swallow you whole. If you refuse this deal, you will never find your way back. Look at yourself. You're tired. You're about to spill your innards on the floor. As if on command, you hunch over and vomit all over yourself. It's a mixture of food, water, and viscera. As such, I will leave unscathed in every scenario. This vessel will collapse on itself, and this glass will break, erode, whatever nature decides. I will be hungry, but I will be free. In every scenario, I will return home. The same cannot be said for you. I am practically giving you a gift, even though I should allow a squid to choke you to death in its grasp. I will not bother killing you myself. You sure might be fun. You cover your mouth and wipe the excess of your vomit from your lips. Take my offer for your sake. Will you free SYN, guardian of the abyss? Ooh, here's the thing. I actually fully agree with what he's saying, but for the sake of getting all answers to this and all endings, no first. I will refuse. I do not need the help of a murderer, of an alien with a bloodlust, to find my way home. You hear an echoing hum in the room of satisfaction. I see. Selfish to your core, even now. If that is the case, then we have no reason to continue this dialogue. You feel a weight being lifted from your mind. You rub your temples and your eyes as if you were once again a small child. For a few minutes, you stare at SYN. It only stares back. Your communication has been severed. Finally, you swallow and continue your way through the Emboro Deep. Eventually, as you walk cautiously through the carnage, you find a submarine. It is the same make and model as the Silver Treader. You've never driven a submarine before, but the escape subs have special mapping to take you safely to land. All you need to do is flick the emergency switch and go on your way. Now you wait. Allow the submarine to safely disembark and take you to shore. You're tired and you allow yourself a quick respite. A short nap is all you need. Well, I think that might have turned into an eternal nap. The August 15th shipment comes to a crumbled facility. There is nothing to recover. All files are lost to the sea. Their paper drained of all ink. The bodies have been washed away. At least what is left of them. The supply team makes a conclusion that an explosion of an unknown source caused the collapse of the Emboro Deep. Any submarines not taken have sunk to the sea floor, and there are no known survivors. Ooh. Nice. We're dead. Okay, time to get the better ending. All right, this time we will free SYN. Yes, I will. It does not move its mouth, but you know it is smiling. Wise. As I have stated before, if you look towards the pipes, you will see 2 buttons. The damage to your vessel has already overwhelmed these systems. Hold the red and blue ones at the same time for up to 7 seconds. You listen to its instructions, holding the buttons for as long as you hold your breath. You hear the creaking of the Emboro Deep from the room. It's suffocating. The glass starts to break, and then it shatters completely. The room immediately fills with tens of thousands of gallons of water. You are swept up in the rush, taken completely into the sea. I hope, for your sake, that we never have to meet again. You aren't sure how you got here, washed up on the beach of an unknown country, risen from the Hadal zone 9,000 meters down, relatively unscathed. I wonder how SYN was able to accomplish that for us. But you know, I guess magical underwater sea creatures maybe have that kind of ability. You spit the remaining seawater and sand out of your mouth. And of course, you vomit once more. Oh, we just can't win, can we? You do what you know, and you do what you can. You make your way inland as far as you can and hide yourself within a community if you are found by anyone associated with Emboro Deep. You know you will be forced to tell them of what happened, one way or another. And you know you will be carried back out to sea. Those glowing eyes are in every dream, after all. It closed. Well then, before we get to the outro, I just want to thank my channel members. Thank you so much to my channel members for your support. It helps me It helps the channel grow, and it helps the videos keep coming. I truly appreciate it. And now on to the outro. As always, somehow Catskit's writing is strangely poetic. It gives me a sense of dread. I already have a bit of a fear of the deep undersea, but that's partially because I'm claustrophobic. So this was eerie. Right up my alley though, and when this video goes up, it should be either right before October or right at October. So I will say this was a good game to kick off the spooky month with. It was creepy, very creepy, but SYN was a cutie. But before I ramble on too long, I will leave it here. If you made it this far, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did like it, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of me but you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe. I upload videos 3 times a week, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye.